Hey everyone, it is Julie. It is Saturday morning. I am about to do a grocery haul for you, but before I do, I just wanted to talk to you for a minute and apologize. I gave out incorrect information multiple times, so I wanted to just talk about that for a minute, get the correct information out there, and apologize. I did lie. I didn't know I was lying, but I still lied. So let's get started. You know, I've talked about multiple times over the last couple of weeks for helping the kids with the food insecurity from one of the schools. And myself and many others got together to try to provide food for them for the food insecurity bags that they were not going to get. That was incorrect. Let me start by saying, Julie, yours truly, has two challenges, two handicaps isn't the right word. I have two big issues when it comes to reading. Okay. Number one, I don't read and comprehend well. Sometimes I have to read something 2, 3, 4, 5 times before I understand it. I will think I understand it. I will read all the words and I will get a completely different meaning than what was intended from the message. As if that wasn't enough, when Julie, yours truly, gets triggered while reading, and I don't mean triggered in a bad way, I mean if I have an instant emotional response, if it is not just, if I'm not just, if the message isn't just hitting my mind but hitting my heart, if I am alerted to something, if it's something that is, needs attention right away or soon, or if it's very important or whatever, I tend to go off what I'm feeling because I automatically know what the message must say. Okay? I did not think, excuse me, I don't have a tripod, so it's just going to be wiggly. I did not think that I had done that, but I did. And honestly, it wasn't even in my mindset. I didn't think anything about it until a few people asked. You guys know I had been saying for 2 weeks that because of the government shutdown, these school kids, their families weren't going to get the SNAP benefits. And with the SNAP benefits being gone, the school wasn't going to be able to provide food security bags for the weekends. That was false. Um, so we were trying to provide food for every single kid who suffered from food insecurity. We were trying to make sure they had some kind of food security bag to go home for the weekend. We did this 2 Fridays in a row. The message actually said, let me start by saying this person at the school has never once asked me for anything. This person has never asked me to do anything, has never asked me to cook for 165 people or for their families or whatever. A couple weeks into the shutdown, I texted her and I said, hey, if you know of any families who are affected by the shutdown, will you let me know? I am not getting paid right now, but we have food and I don't want to see anybody go hungry. And I didn't hear anything from her right away. It was probably almost a week later. And she sent me the text that I thought said because of the SNAP benefits, they weren't going to be able to do the food security the food security bags for the kids. It wasn't until a couple of people asked me, did I already say this? I don't even know where I'm at. A couple of people asked, but SNAP benefits, food stamps, aren't they for the families? How would that affect the school? How would the families not getting food stamps affect the school being able to give food security bags? And I'm like, Great question. I never have thought about it. Remember, guys, I'm not into politics, I'm into people, right? I've never researched the program. I just assumed that there was a different branch of the program that maybe allowed schools to help in a deeper way. Yeah, I was wrong. So when I dropped off food this past Friday, yesterday, I said, "So how does a SNAP program work when it comes to the school?" And she's like, "It doesn't. It's just for the houses." And I'm like, "Oh." So the need was because since they weren't going to have food stamps, they were going to be even more food insecure. They were going to have more food insecurity. She said, "Yeah, exactly." I said, "Okay." And I left. And I'm like, but it still doesn't say anything about the food security bags. So here I am 2-3 weeks later, going back to reread her original message, which basically said, hey, because of the government shutdown and food stamps being done with right now, the children who have food insecurity are going to be experiencing more of it. So we are accepting donations, either monetary or food or whatever, so we can get extra food, so that when the kids get sent home on Friday with a food security bag, we can send extra food home for the families. So even though I read that they weren't going to get their food security bags, that was not the issue at all. At all. They were going to continue getting food security bags, but they wanted to provide additional food for the families. And that makes complete sense, because let's say that you're a family of 5, mom and dad, or, single parent, whatever, and you have 3 kids, okay? So you have one elementary age that goes to the school, and then you have another one, let's say a teenager that goes to school, and they may not have the food security bags. And then you may have like a 2-year-old that doesn't go to school yet, so there's no food security bags for that one. What are you going to do for a weekend if you have minimal to no extra food in the house? I could see as a parent going, "Oh, no, I'm really not hungry, kids. You guys go ahead and eat it." I do not see someone saying, "Oh, youngest child who's 2, you just don't get any food this weekend because you didn't get a food security bag. Teenager, you don't get any food this weekend because you didn't get a food security bag. All this food goes to the middle child." I don't see that. I'm not saying that exact situation has happened. This is just hypothetical, but I can see how forward thinking the school is to help the families, not just the student enrolled in their school. I don't know any of these situations specifically. I don't know any of these people specifically. Well, I might. I don't know. I don't know who these people are, and I don't care. So I want to apologize for lying. I want to apologize for giving out the incorrect information. At no time were these children not going to go without a food security bag. But they're trying to help the families who were already suffering from food insecurity with food to help tide them over. The information I gave was not legit, but the need is. So everything that we did is still for a good reason. People still needed help, and that's where we are. I misrepresented. I didn't misrepresent. I lied. I didn't know I lied, but I lied. So my apologies, and I ask for forgiveness. But there was still a need there, a legitimate need that we were able to help fulfill. So that is it for this one. Stay tuned for the next one. I'm going to do a quick food haul. Not my best, but we'll see. You guys have a great day, and God bless.